What's up, guys? It's Mahatma Gandhi, and welcome back to Choices That Matter. And the sun went out, and when we last left off, something happened with Dagger. I don't know if she's still with us or not. I don't know, but yeah, we are recruiting some American astronauts, and we're fucking going to space. And we found out that the sun's not disappearing, but the Earth is. The Earth is moving. But yeah, I told Modi that we don't trust technology when it's going to become our overlord. Then he said that I'm not trying to become an overlord, so I told him it's like that's what all overlords say. So here's what he says: If I were an overlord, I would be kind. You would be my favorite pet. He done called me a pet. So I'm a pet now. I stopped staring at Modi incredulously. That was a joke. Please don't make jokes, I wheezed, holding back laughter. It gives me indigestion. Ready to roll? Crank appeared behind me and I nodded tiredly. He'd been driving one car, sharing the other. Basically, I answered him, looking around. Where's everyone else? I'm not their mother, I don't know, he said, checking the tires on the car for the second time today. You're eager, I noted. You're doing better today. Yes, I just wanted to get this done. Make sure whoever needs to be on that shuttle gets there, he snapped. However, a second later, he shook his head sadly. No, that's not true. What's wrong, Crank? Something bugging you? He rubbed his neck apprehensively and tossed his phone onto the front seat. I think Montague wants me to go on that shuttle, he admitted. I'd really rather not. I'm afraid of heights. He shook himself, mentally pushing it aside. He cleared his throat. You riding with me or your girlfriend? You and I are in the same car, I replied, ignoring the girlfriend comment. Dolores wanted it that way, and I'm reluctant to argue with her at this point. Sharon, Satin, and Vadik are in the other one. I'm sure he loves that, he muttered, walking away. Do you think Mr. Vadik is a threat? A threat? I asked, heading back to the hangar which we'd made our makeshift home the last couple of days. The opposition in the battle for Miss Sharon's heart. Oh! Modi knows what I'm trying to do. Modi knows what I'm trying to do. I stopped abruptly, laughing. Have you been watching romance movies again, Modi? 12 today, teacher. You watched 12 today? I was spared from answering by the sound of an engine high above our heads. Looking up, I saw a small plane come into view. Dolores, I yelled, please tell me that you called for backup and this isn't a concern. She emerged from the hangar, gun in hand. It's not one of mine. Maybe it's the astronauts. I ran to the hangar and grabbed Vadik and Sharon. Get in the car, get the engine running. If we need a quick getaway, you're it. She nodded and ran for the 4WD we'd selected. As the small jet landed and began taxiing to where we were, Crank emerged as well, an automatic rifle in hand. I don't want anyone to die, I murmured to both him and Dolores. Dolores nodded unconvincingly. Crank said nothing. The plane stopped and the stairs lowered. Tense, I waited for the shadowed figure to step forward. It was Etienne. Okay, they took a jet to get here. Alright, cool. I thought we were gonna pick them up. Running to the plane, they greeted him. Be cautious. You don't know. I held back my joy at seeing my friend. How did he get here? How did he even find us? Edo, I called cautiously. Was he a hostage? Welcome to Russia, right? He laughed, jumping down the steps and making his way towards me. Okay, we're good. Stay where you are, Dolores barked with her gun, drawn, advancing with Crank until we were alongside the plane. Etienne looked at me confused. What are you doing here? I asked from behind the duo with guns. You called for us, he said, confused. We didn't, Dolores said darkly. Step away from the aircraft. What? Hang on, I got a message from you, Etienne said, stepping back. Crank moved to climb the stairs and search the plane. I haven't been able to contact you, I shook my head. I've been trying. Crank returned to the door with a stranger, a man in a suit. His hands were on his head in surrender, his eyes wild with fear. Apart from him, the plane's clear, Crank nodded to Dolores. Just the people from the China team. China team. Hello, Mr. Etienne. Oh, you got your heart. What the heck? Is Modi going to try to have sexual relations with Etienne? I'm glad you got my message. He sent it. Was the flight pleasant? Modi, explain now, I cried, looking up as Chase and Matron also appeared from the plane. You said to let them know what's happening, teacher. I arranged for a private plane and a pilot to bring them here to help. Aren't I excellent? I could kiss you, you beautiful thing. Yeah, man. Hey, Modi, come here, bruh. Well, you could. I'm not sure I would enjoy it, however. I laughed with Etienne again, happy he was here. Where did you get the money for this, Modi? Dolores asked cautiously. I siphoned some money from the company for emergencies before I was rejected access. Oh! Woo! Dang, Modi is a good criminal. Dang, it was more than enough to arrange 2 flights. 2? I asked, shaking Chase's hand in greeting and nodded to Matron. I noticed that the rest of the Aetherites weren't on the plane. Where are the others? Another plane is taking them, Etienne confirmed. Can you please stop pointing a gun at our pilot? I turned to Crank, who still had the pilot on his knees. The poor fellow had peed himself. He looked to Dolores and she nodded. As soon as Crank let the man up, he fainted and Crank sighed. I'll deal with it, he muttered, picking him up. When he wakes, we'll be gone and he can take his plane back. Tell him to change their flight plans, Modi. Find somewhere near Vostokny they can land and meet us. Yes, teacher. We'd better get everyone in the hangar, Dolores said, looking up at the morning sky. I don't like being out in the open like this. Soon we were all gathered in the hangar. Satin was still asleep and we didn't wake her. The last few days without pain meds had been hard on her and sleeping was probably the best thing for her. So you're really planning to go to space? Etienne asked, rubbing his neck. Not me. Not me. I'm leaving it to the pros. Well, thank goodness, he laughed. I'm not sure space would survive you. We can discuss this in transit, Dolores cut in. She held 2 radios in her hand and passed one to Crank. You and Gilbert take Chase and Etienne with you in the hatchback. She passed the other to Sharon. You take Vadik and Matron with you. Satin can join me. It'll be easier on her injuries. She's okay though, right? Chase asked, frowning. She's healing quite well. I suspect she'll be able to help once we get to Vostokny. Indeed, Dolores nodded. These are shortwave radios, so stay close to each other. Once you get to the rendezvous point, I'll radio where I've set up and we could scope the launch site. She looked around at each of us and nodded. On your way. Let's get this done before we lose light. She strutted away and Etienne frowned at me. Did she suddenly get poetic since I last saw you? He asked. A lot has happened, I sighed. I'll tell you on the way. Let's roll out. Just like Ludacris. Roll out. I'm white. It took us less than half an hour to load up the others and set out on our way. As soon as we were on the road, I tested the radio. How you doing up there? I asked, watching the 4WD ahead of us. Can you hear me nice and clear? Ah, Sharon's voice cracked over the connection. How do I use this thing? Yes, the charging ram reads you over. Charging ram, I asked, laughing. We need code names, she insisted. What's your car's code name? The confused hedgehog. Oh, the swooping bald eagle, yeah! Yeah, America! American, she scoffed. You're also patriotic and ridiculous. You mother... Hey! 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 Just because I'm proud of my country's accomplishments doesn't mean that I should be embarrassed about it. God. I could say the same thing about Australians. I know Australians love Australia, okay? Just like Canadians, they love Canada. Russians, they love Russia, baby. I don't actually know that. But I'm pretty sure most of them do. Hey, the bald eagle is a majestic and powerful beast, I said in a mock anger. Don't diss it. Don't tread on me. After a bit of back and forth bantering, we turned off the radio to preserve the battery. I was sitting in the back with Etienne and we swapped stories of China and Russia. I'm glad you're here, I said in the end, watching the sun dip below the horizon. We lost a few people. It's nice to have friends around. You aren't alone, he said, taking my hand in comfort. We're going to figure this out. You know damn well we're going to figure it out. Heads up, Crank called from the front. Looks like we got an issue up ahead. Russian checkpoint? I could see a thick column of smoke rising in the distance. I leaned around the driver's seat and squinted. There was an orange glow somewhere ahead of us. Given the amount of smoke, the fire must be huge. Oh, it's a fire. What do you think? I asked quietly. Are you guys seeing this? Vadik called over the radio before Crank could answer. Crank took the radio and responded, Sure do. Keep your wits about you. We should go around. Left or right? Right, he answered almost instantly. I can't be sure, but it looks like there's a billboard on the left. Immediately after he said that, a large burning overpass came into view. As our cars made careful detours off to the side of the road to avoid the burning structure, I tried to see what was written on it. Can anyone make out what it said? Etienne asked. No, Chase muttered, still staring out the window. It's tagged with paint, but I can't make out the words. You did better than me. I couldn't see anything, I muttered. Crank picked up the radio again. Stay sharp. If that's a warning, I don't want to run into whoever left it there. Aye, aye, Captain, came Vadik's response. We should turn around, take another route. Let's speed this thing up the sooner we get there. Agreed, Chase muttered in the front, stood looking out the window. The further along the road we got, the more I relaxed. Even Crank, after 20 minutes, seemed to sit back as if the danger had passed. I don't think it did. Etienne was the opposite. The more we drove, the more tense he got. Finally, he spoke up. We should turn around. Nothing happened, Crank said. I think we're safe. Don't speak so soon. You better hope that car has some wood paneling. You better knock on that. I don't know. It just doesn't feel right. Why leave an overpass on fire with a message no one can read? Maybe they lit it during the day, I shrugged. Maybe 2 different people tagged the sign and set it on fire. We can't know. So you want to keep going, he asked me, pleading with his eyes. Really? We have to, I nodded. We have to get to the launch site. We do. Ahead, the road curved and then dipped out of sight. Crank slowed the car down for the corners while Sharon's car disappeared around the corner. I'm just saying, oh. Didn't you see the sign? Come on, unfamiliar voice of the radio. Came an unfamiliar voice of the radar. Welcome to the new world, girlie. Get out of the damn car. What do you want? Sharon asked, and I caught on. She turned on the radio to warn us. Crank, stop, I said. Though it was unnecessary, he was already pulling over. I'm sorry, Etienne. It looks like you were right. Nobody move. We need to hear what's going on first. Yeah, Etienne was right. We should have listened. Thanks for saying so, he muttered, face grave. We're sick of the world, lady. The unknown voice came again. We all thought we were going to die when the sun went out, but we got a second chance, see? So you're changing the world, she scoffed, and I groaned. How like Sharon to antagonize the men threatening her. No, the unknown man said. Just our little part of it. This is our new world, and we take what we want. The government can't stop us. Have you seen them around lately? Can't say I have. Exactly. So you're on our turf, and I'm going to ask you again, is there anyone else with you? Just our carload, Sharon lied. We were heading for green pastures, too. Maybe we can help each other. Or maybe I could shoot your boyfriend here and take advantage of the minx in the back seat. You see, that's what I'll do if you're lying to me. Whoa. 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 Whoa, 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 whoa. You're talking about taking advantage of people. Whoa. Teacher, our friends are in danger. What do you want to do? Craig asked me, twisting in his seat to see me. Fuck. Just listen. She's giving us a chance to get some intel on them. We can't just sit here, Chase argued. If we run in without a plan, they'll kill us and probably them too, I pointed out. There's only one guy, he argued, that we know of. He said our New World, Crank pointed out, and that he'd shoot Vidiq. He has a gun and he's not alone. Apart from that, we know next to nothing, I said. We're alone, Sharon shouted after the sound of scuffling. Leave her alone. What the fuck? Yo, they're saying taking advantage of Matron, bruh. Nah, you ain't touching Miss Animoto. You ain't touching her. I ain't allowed nobody getting raped here. Nobody getting raped. Comrade, Vidiq said in a reasonable tone. We'll leave. We don't want trouble. Shut up, the unknown man barked. If you're alone, then why is my sniper aiming at a car on the other side of the bend? Oh shit. Crank hastily ducked and put the car in neutral. Make a decision, he yelled at me, hands gripping the wheel. Ram them and hope to survive. Don't move. If we do, they might kill them. Oh god. Fuck it. Gun it. Gun it. Hit this man. Come on, you gotta. We probably fucked. We fucked up. I think we fucked up. The wheels screeched as Crank revved the engine, peeling us off around the corner. I had a split second to take in what was around the corner. A bus across the road and two men with guns standing on top of it, before Crank aimed for that third man standing next to Sharon's car. He dove out of the way at the last second. Fuck! Crank slammed the brakes, grabbed his own gun, and stepped out of the car. When I heard a young boy screaming, I scrambled out of the car myself, yelling at Crank to stop. We all stood frozen, Sharon now out of her car as well. The unknown man from the radio, blood dripping from his nose, comforted the young boy in Russian. The boy couldn't have been more than 10. Oh god. A woman quickly ran up and took the young boy, leading him back behind the bus. Crank raised his gun again, but I shook my head at him. The man removed his jumper and used it to stem the bleeding from what was obviously a broken nose. It must have happened when he dived away. We'll let you pass, but only if you do it in peace, he said, holding up a hand to surrender. We don't want any trouble here. Motherfucker, what? The sniper was a lie, wasn't it? I asked. The man shook his eye. Yes, it's just a man with binoculars. Truthfully, these are all the guns we own. So this was all a scare tactic. I should throttle you. You threatened to take advantage of Miss Enimoto. And you were grabbing... I ought to throttle you, but nah, I'm a... The man nodded, tears coming to his eyes. We've lost much, he said brokenly. We were just protecting ourselves. We had to. What's going on here? I asked, gesturing all around us. Was the whole world broken? There are gangs all up and down these roads, he said, sitting on the steps of the bus. They take what they want. Women, men, guns, food, medicine, anything that isn't tied down. There isn't enough law enforcement to keep them in check anymore. So you become one of them, I caught on, nodding. Only more as a front. That's right, we scare off everyone who comes this way to protect our families. I'm confused. What if someone with more guns came along? That's the point, Modi, I answered for him. No one knows how many guns or people they have, just like we didn't. Humans fear the unknown. It's something we fear every day, the man nodded. We do what we can, though, he sighed before nodding at us. Welcome to the new world where you can't trust anyone. Great. He indicated for a teenager to come closer and handed the keys on his belt over to her. This is Anya. She'll move the bus on the other side of the barricade for you. Go on your way. Don't look back, for all our sakes. Moving through the makeshift camp was strange. There had to be a dozen families all hunkered down, most elderly women and children. They looked at our convoy with fear. Can we help these people, teacher? I thought you're all about killing the enemy now, Modi, I replied. I don't really want to die, teacher. I just say those things. I just want to be tough, like in the movies. That's what most people do in real life. If they say I'm gonna kill them, they're not really going to. Unless they about that life. From now on, just say what you mean. Please. The drive to the radio tower that Dolores had made our meeting point was relatively uneventful. Though we hadn't really been on the road for that long, I was ready to take a nap. While Dolores wasn't at the radio tower, we found the message she had left for us, instructing us where to go. We made our way towards a little farm not far from the launch site. Dolores walked out the small barn to meet us. In the distance, what used to be the farmhouse was now a black shell burned down. What? Where's the jet? I asked, looking around. I couldn't see it. Another barn down the hill, she nodded. This one isn't big enough for it. Satin's there refueling and getting it ready to go and collect our astronaut friends. Fair enough. Did you have any trouble? No, she sniffed. Indignant. I'm a professional. How about you? Run into any danger on the road? No, I lied, thinking that the group we had met was best left alone. It was a quick run, mostly. Good, she retorted, not believing me for a second. There isn't much comfort here, but try to get some rest. After dawn, we'll try to move into the launch site, and I need everyone sharp. The majority of the group grumbled, and some talking about needing a break and others wishing for a bed. Chase decided to go and visit Satin instead, and Etienne wandered away from the barn towards an old, run-down tractor. What are we doing, Dolores? I asked. We can't really get anyone to space, can we? We can try. Besides, who else is going to do it? She went back into the barn, leaving me alone. Teacher, you seem sad. Is everything okay? Bodhi, it's been a long year, I muttered. A long, strange year. I have a feeling it's all going to end sooner than we think. We can't control time, teacher. It's not a variable, but a constant. I don't know if that's poetic or just reassuring. I tried to sleep, and even though I was dead tired, I couldn't stop the thought in my head from keeping me awake. Eventually, just before dawn, I got up and snuck out of the barn as quietly as I could. Just because I wasn't sleeping didn't mean the others shouldn't. Soon I found out I wasn't the only one awake. I saw Satin and Chase walking back up the hill. They were laughing and joking together until suddenly Satin pulled Chase into a deep kiss. Oh! 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 Surprised, I hid. An Aetherite and a child of Gaia not fighting but getting along fantastically. Soon they disappeared into the barn, so I turned around and went the other way. As I was walking in between the tall grass, I thought about them. Could something as pure as love come out of this whole mess? If two people from two factions, which clearly loathed each other, could fall in love, maybe it wasn't all for nothing. All the death, the pain, and trouble, it was beginning to feel like it was all a cruel test. Are you thinking about Miss Sharon or Miss Etienne, teacher? What are you talking about, Bodhi? Surely, if Mr. Chase and Mr. Satin can get together, you can find someone too. I'm not sure if that's an insult or a compliment, I muttered, keeping my voice low. Don't you have feelings for Mr. Etienne or Miss Sharon, teacher? Come on, you know! I don't know, Modi. Maybe. I see. You should really find out, teacher, before someone else gets there first. Sure, that was my main concern. I looped back around and headed back towards the barn, knowing Dolores she'd be awake by now and able to walk me through the plan again. Vostochny Cosmodrome was meant to be a brand new launch site, so new that it wasn't yet fully tested. With any luck, there wouldn't be any hitches in the shuttle launch, but I was hardly an expert on the subject. I shut my eyes, thinking through the possibilities. I would be more comfortable with an astronaut arrived. Dolores and Satin were leaving after the debrief to collect them. As I neared the barn, I realized once again that I wasn't the only one not sleeping. Etienne was in the tractor, reclined in the driver's seat, looking at the stars. Sharon had a lamp on and had buried herself in the engine of one of the cars. Fancy coming across these two. Shut up, Modi. Go to Sharon. All right, I'm gonna end this video right here. I'll see you guys in the next one, and bye.